Africa S2, aLive.
They cheer before and after the player. Got some sick aLive fans in the audience.
Well, this might be the only time they get to see him.
Yeah, I mean, I guess going out in the round of 32, definitely not ideal.
Ocean Gaming, SpeCial.
And for a while, SpeCial actually did that. He would qualify for GSL, and then that was still when it was kind of a new concept of having non-Koreans in GSL.
Yeah.
He was one of the first ones to do it. He's done it 5 times, and man, he just has struggled to get past that mark. But recently, he's overcome that barrier. He made it to, the finals of, WCS. So he's like, okay.
Yeah.
Lots of transformation.
He definitely has had his breakouts now, right? It's important. Like, yeah, I mean, he's had some very good years. That year where he only lost to Neve and, like,
yeah,
but to hit that finals, to kind of do as well as he has in GSL, thing is, it feels very right now for him to be in GSL. He is a player that, wow, look at that, 7-0, that's crazy.
And it's all in Legacy of the Void, too.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot has changed over the course of the season. It's not like that's, totally ultra super relevant, but I mean, that's one hell of a one-sided matchup. So for SpeCial, I guess he doesn't really know what it's like to beat aLive, at least not in kind of home territory.
No, I guess not. Well, we'll see, because I think right now SpeCial is better than aLive, so who knows? But anyways, it feels right for SpeCial to be here. Like Code S nowadays, I feel like both SpeCial and Scarlet definitely belong. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where it's like, yeah, these players are of the level, right? They've lived in Korea for so long. All the Korean players know them. Their styles are more Korean than they are NA or EU. It's and it's not like the old days where when they qualified, it was like, oh, they had a close game. It's more like, yeah, these players can make it out of the group.
Well, in a little way, this feels like, kind of a return to the very first olden days when we used to see pro gamers like Jinro and Huck come out to Korea, who were really, overperformed by a lot of people's standards. But as StarCraft 2 refined, obviously, we hit that period of time where it's just like Koreans winning everything. And now GSL Code S continues to be the place where the best players play. And I think that now that we're including
non-Korean players. That's really exciting. So is breaking up that ramp so devastatingly. Wow. The chills, Artos is alive, just barely able to win that fight with half a Reaper left.
Yeah. Really important that that Hellion died. All right, there we go. Cleaned up. Yeah, that was... I was scared for him for a moment there.
That is... Wow, it's really rare that you see such an even trade of even units. I mean, ideally you would expect that that would happen, but it just so rarely does.
Yeah.
Both players kind of doing those skill tests once again to try to see exactly where their opponent's putting their priority. And let's see what the divergences are. Looks like early Raven there for aLive.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see both sides get into a couple of early Ravens
Surprise.
here. Yeah.
Or not surprised as it is. Yeah, imagine opening without a Raven in TVT. I feel like they're just so good.
No, it's such an important unit, whether it's the armor bust or the disable. Like, it is just, even auto turret is so useful. You need to grab a couple of them.
Yeah, I think they really function in so many roles. So let's find out what the fate of this Widow Mine is, because for SpeCial, they've been kind of going off today. Literally.
Yeah. You know, it looks to me like SpeCial might have just, a tiny, tiny lead right now. He did get the faster command center, and now they're getting their third commands at the same time. So when you add that all up, and they basically have lost the same units, seems all right for him.
Okay, good. Checking with the Marine. Does still lose it, and let's find out if he loses the Widow Mine. No. Wow, 6 save.
That is a nice advantage for SpeCial, no doubt. Now, it's not like a game-ending thing, but everything seems to be going his way just slightly.
Yeah, and he does still have the Raven, so theoretically, in the future, that Widow Mine might not have such a good outlook on life. But, I mean, hey, SpeCial really hasn't shown any signs of weakness right now. He's defended it really every turn. And I am glad that we get a chance to see this game really go on and get a chance to see more of what these players have in store. Because for aLive, we don't really know, and for SpeCial, I'm excited.
Yeah, he might actually be going mech this game. I'm kind of thinking that he's going to. I mean, if he is deciding to go bio, it's going to be quite a late stim start for him, quite a late engineering base start time for him.
Right.
So
I don't think you'd ever really expect, at least early on in a series, aLive to go mech.
yeah, well, aLive is not a mech player really
Yeah.
in any matchup, to be honest. But SpeCial does throw down his barracks just a little bit later here. No engineering bays or anything like that as of yet. A scan goes down, he sees the barracks, so that is an extremely important scan there by aLive, because that is something that you question, because SpeCial's one of the players that really feels pretty equally comfortable with either.
Yeah, and so now it is his turn to throw down the barracks, the engineering bays, and so it is going to be just a little bit later, like you said earlier. But it's all off of that scan information, obviously.
Look at that, 3 Ravens. This is the new meta. How many Ravens does SpeCial have? Yeah, it's just 2. Okay.
This is like the modern version of those jump rope Bryants. Like, how many Ravens does it take? 1, 2, 3. I don't know how long we're going to go there. There's so many ways you could do that. You could do that with like the count from Sesame Street. You could do that with Tootsie Pops. There's just all these things we need to find out the right number for.
Well, it's 3, but
You got a powerful tongue for those Tootsie Pops, Artosis.
you better believe it.
They didn't stand a chance.
They're good.
Artosis has like, what is it, Komodo dragon saliva, like can dissolve concrete.
I think it's actually the bacteria in their saliva that causes all that.
Well, you probably have that too. I don't know. All those years of being a vegetarian, you got to have something to break all that down.
Yeah. All right, so the move out right now from SpeCial, I don't think you'll really get anything done. There's 3 defensive Ravens, so you'd have to disable the tanks and the Ravens. I don't think that that's possible.
Yeah, I mean, you could do those like sexy queued up disables where you interference matrix everything all at the same time. I mean, he's pretending.
It's nice zoning that he's doing here because he does have those Vikings. He's pushing the Ravens back.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh, the
That's
harassment
a
Raven.
cute one. Obviously, if SpeCial decides to force the issue, man, that volley.
Yeah.
Oh, and look at that. 3 Marines, I guess, catching or being caught by that tank in the back. Obviously, you don't really want that tank to be fighting
Who
with 2
is
Marines.
catching whom?
That's true. We have a little bit of a Rorschach moment where we don't truly know.
Okay, well, this push is kind of funny. I feel
Oh.
like what SpeCial is doing here is only based off of the air. Like, I don't think he has any intention of trying to bust anything here. He's just trying to pick off important units.
And I think that's why aLive felt comfortable sending that Raven across the map. Is he kind of figured out he's probably not going to force the issue here. Now, that being said, if he gets more volleys like that and maybe picks off a couple of Ravens, anything's possible.
But this harassment Raven did so well. 12 SCVs and a lot of lost mining time. Look at the worker difference right now. SpeCial had a 3 worker difference earlier on.
Man, today is just teaching me you don't kill the guy with your army. You just put 1 or 2 units, and apparently that's all you need to kill catastrophic numbers of workers. There's the interference matrices.
That's funny. One of them did not get to unsiege before he did it. So kind of a clever move right there. I can't believe he's actually just pushing this all down with one Liberator. This is so technical from SpeCial.
A decent spread there on the Marines, so he's doing a good job denying at least the slow Liberator crawl. But on the other side, it's continual value from that Raven that aLive sent over there. There's no gas SCVs mining where there used to be before.
Oh my god.
Whoa!
Oh my god, that was a beautiful move from aLive right there.
Comes in
Disabling
from-
all the tanks.
He disabled them, he Doritoed the army. It's just so sick to see that come from behind attitude, and now aLive not only gets to defend the high ground, but really puts SpeCial on guard.
Wow, what amazing moves from aLive. The 3rd Raven and then the Raven flank. Like, yeah, you're going to lose them in that situation, but they did work. They pushed this back. That was kind of the only advantage that SpeCial had at this point.
Yeah.
And now he has to turn around and go home.
It's a 20 army supply lead here for aLive after all is said and done. Obviously, pushing across the map is never something you can do lightly, so aLive doesn't want to overextend, but I mean, wow,
Yeah.
I didn't see that coming, and neither did SpeCial.
He's got 3 more tanks, and he's got 5 medevacs against 0, so that's
look
a
at that.
gigantic. That is so big for aLive. Now, the fact that he's loading them all into medevacs, I don't know that I agree with that. I think you siege this, that's a great move. Oh, he's going for it. Okay. Maybe this just works.
You will try. Man, who is this, Gumiho playing?
Oh my
the
God.
Doom drop in the main. A lot of SCVs there to defend, but they don't last very long, and neither do those Marines. It does it aLive.
All right. Finds his way in there and ends it. You know what? It felt like SpeCial had a slightly better opening. He had kind of a cool push going on. But aLive setting up those auto turrets on the other side of the map, the flank there, and SpeCial was still in a position where you can still fight, obviously, right? You got siege tanks, it's hard to break, but utilizing his biggest advantage, which was 5 medevacs against 0, just killing him immediately.
Really interesting. So you have the Viking advantage, and that's something that SpeCial uses. Then there's the Raven advantage, which I didn't know was an advantage. The flank coming in and the harass behind it that aLive used. And then he's like, wait a second, the Vikings are gone, and I have tons of medevacs. Let's go for it. And that is one of the most archetypical examples of when a Doom drop works.
All right, so SpeCial's life on the line right now. He hasn't won a map tonight. He's in the shape of his life right now, but he's down 0-3. He has to win the next 2 maps to go on to that final match. Cyber Forest next. It was SpeCial's pick, so we'll see if he can bring it together here against aLive.
Yeah, I mean, SpeCial's chauffeur was TY, so he obviously has got a lot of preparation before this. Let's see if it pays off in Game 2. This is
Africa S2, aLive.
And his opponent is
Ocean Gaming, SpeCial.
Speaking of SpeCial, Artosis, you know what this game is?
What?
This is, as I discovered over the break,
Starcraft 2.
game number 3,943, which is a prime number.
Ooh.
So I figured that out earlier. It's also the only prime number for another like 6,000 other numbers after it. At least if the website I went to was correct, and also I did the long division too. So it works, and I'm happy that we get a chance to enjoy this momentous moment. Also StarCraft 2.
All right. Well, that's very exciting to have a
I knew you would be excited by that.
It's going to be a very long time before we have this again. I'm glad that you and I could share this together.
That's true. In fact, this is the only time this will ever happen. Today is the only day you can post this.
Yeah. Wow. Well, no, you don't know how long we're going to do this GSL for.
We might finish all numbers and have to restart from 0.
What if? Okay, how old would I be at that point when we get to the next prime number? You said it's like 6,000 numbers away?
It's a long ways away. I'd actually have to look that up instead of cast StarCraft. So instead, I'm going to let our viewers help me out with that one. But it's going to be a while.
It's like probably 30 more years of GSL.
Well, let's not sell ourselves short, Artosis.
Wow.
I believe.
Wow.
It might be auto GSL by that point.
Oh my God.
I can't wait.
The most competitive auto chess game.
That we'll still put that in the subtitle. Most competitive. What is it? 1 versus 1 versus 1 versus however many we're doing at that point. It might be an auto battle royale RTS at that point.
Oh, I can't wait for that. That's
the future is looking bright, Artosis.
You know, I shook my head when everyone was into The Sims. Nowadays, I'm getting whiplash every other day. All right, let's take a look at these openers here. Starports making on both sides. Command centers, very similar stuff. Looks like aLive. Ooh, gonna get the poor engage right there. Loses his Reaper. And getting pushed back by SpeCial.
Yeah, it's kind of iconic how these tiny early interactions matter so much. Last time, it was almost perfectly even. This time, SpeCial killing it, going to get a delay on that command center.
Well, I guess the problem is, right, aLive immediately went across with the exact same unit set that SpeCial had. And so when you do the transition from low ground to high ground, SpeCial gets the first volley, and that's all she wrote, right? You win that straight up. There's no wiggle room at that point. And now that he's delaying this command center so much while his zone is finishing, I mean, that's very nice. He does not even have to lose any of this.
Nope, he gets to escape correctly and away, and man, back at it again. There's that Widow Mine. I'm so PTSD'd from the game versus parting, which I know he still didn't win, but that was pretty horrific. Although it seems like aLive is not falling for his shenanigans.
Well, Let's see what he's going to be able to do with this drop. That's like not a very scary drop, to be honest. Hellion, 2 Marines, Reaper. There's no stim or anything. I mean, I guess you may as well put some pressure on.
I don't know.
Right?
I'm just always scared of aLive drops at this point, Artosis. That last game was pretty much the most graphic display of the Doom drop. If you guys are wondering what we talk about, that's it. And so here we go. I mean, maybe all he picks off is this depot, but he's heading for the mineral line.
Yeah, you may as well try to actually get some damage done here. There's a Siege Tank and 2 Marines, though, waiting. So not likely to get too many kills.
Yeah, that one Reaper is really tanking quite a bit of damage. And yeah, it doesn't really get much accomplished. We'll be able to escape. aLive.
Yeah, the Raven production is beginning here for aLive. We'll see if he goes for 3 once again. Whoa! I think the Widowmine just hit that.
Yeah, I'm guessing that was what that was.
That was the Cyclone, right?
Yeah, exactly. And now it is...
aLive is having a hard time going up hills.
It's definitely not his forte for sure. And so now he's going to take unnecessary damage on the other side. Finally, SpeCial has a lot of things that are going his way early on. It kind of felt like he got pulled a little bit apart in his series versus parting, but now another huge connection.
Everything going wrong for aLive right there.
I don't know. Part of me just is SpeCial is he's playing. I don't know, Tinder Terran. He's just making all those good connections.
Well,
also the Hellions are setting things
I
on
want to
fire.
make a joke about this, but I don't know which way you're supposed to swipe to say no.
You're saying aLive is about to swipe left on SpeCial's strategy?
I was going to say it the other way around, but yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm glad I can help you be hip with the kids these days,
Thank you.
Artosis.
I do appreciate that.
This newfangled technology.
I know, it's so weird. On your cell phone, really?
I can't wait until they have like auto battle social relationship apps where I can not only meet the love of my life.
You should move
but also
to Silicon Valley. I'm sure someone will give you $1 billion.
There's a startup with my name on it, man.
Yeah.
Let's
Let's
find
drop
out.
from SpeCial here into the main base.
So this does have stim Artosis, and thus is a scary drop. It's funny how that works. And in the future, he'll be able to get that even faster. 2, 3, 4, now more. SCVs going down, and it just doesn't stop. Okay, there it does. 4 down in the end.
And it almost looked like he killed that auto turret with the Marine. Wow.
Indeed, the auto turret, perhaps the predecessor. I love triggering.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it's so fun. Okay, well, here's aLive to try to do the revenge drop. It doesn't have quite as much in it, and there's more back at home to defend. So safe to say, SpeCial has a tiny advantage at this point. Let's see what he's going to do about it, or with it.
Oh, that medevac going to get picked off as well. Everything's going wrong for aLive. Like, every move he makes just doesn't seem quite there. He's like walking up hills into mines and then just leaving medevacs out in the open. Here he goes. He's walking into siege tanks. Just gets out of range that time, luckily.
Well, now aLive realizes he probably needs to have something. Nothing's working out for him, so this is it. He does have the interference matrices or the auto turrets just to tank a little bit up front. Gets the damage done, but now he doesn't have any Ravens left.
Yeah, this was a pretty desperate act that we just saw there from aLive. Does siege up, so it's hard to get down there. We'll deny this third base for a little bit, but that didn't feel like a good trade for aLive.
Yes, certainly. I mean, this is the purpose of this push out. He's a little bit behind, He knew he needed to get something done. I just don't think that was it. Loses every Raven.
Yeah, well, SpeCial just lost his Raven flying out there to get some vision. It's a little bit sloppy from him. Continuing to push back everything that aLive has on this side of the map. aLive down 20 supply right now.
Yeah, and before that he was only down about 10 supply, but the real big thing was he didn't have that third base. And so when he pushed out, he did expand behind it, but I mean, we still haven't really seen that come up yet. Now SpeCial's knocking on his doorstep and has that huge army supply advantage.
Yeah, moving forward with these tanks. Might be able to set up a little area here, start pushing forward. He does. Oh, he scans and sees the medevacs trying to go.
Not this time, aLive. Fool you once, that'll get you, but second time, SpeCial. He's hip to his jive.
He's hip to his, what's the word I'm looking for?
I had to
here?
rewind my brain.
His jive.
That's what it is.
His jive Artosis.
That's what the kid said 85 years ago. Oh my God.
I'm glad you found the word you were looking for.
I did.
Evan.
I hunted it down
It kills
there
you when you can't get that perfect word.
mercilessly. Thanks for the help there, Artosis.
Yeah.
I would have thought out of all people to remember archaic words, that would be where you'd kick in.
I try my best.
All right, more beats less here, Artosis. More Vikings in the air continue to give SpeCial that air advantage. That means this new base is about to be an old base.
Yeah, those SCVs end up squatulating immediately.
They really got out of there, didn't they?
They did.
aLive, I don't know how much longer he's going to stay that way. He finally saves the command center at the last second.
Oh.
That was clutch, but he's getting damage done on the other side.
This game is a little bit of a clown fiesta right now. It's getting crazy. So much damage going down on both sides. Look at the amount of SCVs that just went down for SpeCial.
How many drops will it take?
Gosh.
1, 2, 3. He's continuing to try it.
Dude, aLive now has bigger army supply and more workers. How did this happen?
I felt like SpeCial was making a good move there, Artosis, because aLive had other ideas. That drop that got 23 SCVs down? I don't even think... The story of today is I don't expect as many workers to die as do. And now SpeCial, realizing he needs to get a little bit of damage done, aLive's back at it again.
Yeah, continuing to get a little bit of damage here and there. SpeCial pushing very hard over here at the third base of aLive. aLive just going to send medevacs out again. They do get scanned. Oh, that's something he could even jump on. Look at that.
The vulnerable tanks?
There's like 2 tanks and just a few Marines. No medevacs here.
Yeah. I mean, they do have Marines along with them, but all you have to do is just crawl forward, then go for it. Back at home, aLive is finally pulling his drop back. There's one Marine that'll kill that dropship in a second. Yep, there it is.
Well, those Marines still going to get some kills, though.
Yeah, every little bit counts. I mean, it's a 30 supply advantage for SpeCial still, but you're right, for a moment there, aLive was in a pretty good spot.
Well, he's still fighting.
Yeah.
He's still trying.
Oh, he's
SpeCial does have a
trying.
strong position, though, up here on the high ground. Not really allowing him to mine from his third base.
Yeah, the third base is the real kind of nail in the coffin here. While the armies might have seemed even there for a second, SpeCial has an entrenched third base economy. He's got sensor towers up, he's got widow mines in place defending it, sieged tanks back home, and even as he rallies more and more units across the map, I think aLive's moment of advantage is about to expire.
Oh, yeah. It's looking rough. He's trying to float over to a new base. Look at this flank onto the tanks. He actually only gets one there. We've seen a lot of units diving on things that they aren't getting in the series so far.
I never know. This is one of those mysterious moments for me. And I feel like there's just some moments where you kind of have to hold your breath because you know it's coming. And I think it's Terran, especially when you're dealing with this Marine versus tank microcosm of the matchup, you really have to know that ahead of time. And it's been a little bit ambiguous. No, that's not the way you're supposed to go. SpeCial does lose a couple of the medevacs, but doesn't overcommit to that drop.
Yeah, that could have gone a lot worse, but he does pull out. Okay, it looks like aLive wants to clear the center of the map. He actually has 2-2 against 1-1. This is a perfect timing for him to do
Those
so.
upgrades kicking it perfectly, and he mows down almost everything that SpeCial has vulnerable in the middle of the map. Now, there's still another force out there, but aLive has stemmed his way all the way across the map, and there's not very much there to defend, but barely just enough.
This is such a strange game to see, actually, because it feels like aLive has lost it several times, and then SpeCial will just kind of overextend a little bit, be out of position slightly.
That is certainly a trend for today's games. We've seen overextension.
Everyone's so hungry to just end the game.
And every time, the most cliche thing you can say is like, this player is hungry to win. It's like, well, yes, they both are. But man, I mean, these players haven't eaten in years, Artosis.
Yeah.
They're just famished. And look at that, going to target down the command center. But right before it dies, this is when aLive wants to go. Instead, he doesn't get any damage done. He doesn't save his command center, and now he's back at that economic disadvantage. So now he's trying to cause one for SpeCial, but this is not that previous drop. It's not killing 23 SCVs. It's dying here, and with this, maybe the economic nail in the coffin.
Yeah, looks like aLive will clean this up. He's like retaking this area, I guess, but doesn't even have a command center over there to mine from. He still has enough army to play around with, though.
I mean, a nice concave on top of a ramp, both of those things a great place to fight, especially if you have that upgrade advantage, but he doesn't anymore.
No, he doesn't really have any advantages going on at the moment, to be honest. Like, he just started his 3-3, so he's a little bit behind SpeCial on that. Gonna float a command center down, rightfully so.
Yeah.
But it feels like SpeCial just, for most of this game, has had most of the map control.
Exactly. There's that brief moment where that dropped did a bunch of economic damage. It was like, oh, okay, maybe this is it. Well, no, it wasn't. And keeping those tanks unsieged, not going to make them very good against Marines. There's one siege in the back. SpeCial catching a lot of precious units there for aLive.
Still, you know, SpeCial, he's got a big siege tank lead, so if he sets up defensively, it doesn't feel like aLive can get too much damage done, but aLive is outmaneuvering SpeCial to a certain degree.
Yeah, I mean, SpeCial is doing his best to sort of force the siege at stutter step and make aLive take as much time as possible to get across the map. Meanwhile, he's getting up another base. He's stimming these tiny groups of Marines in, and oh, look at this. Nothing back home to defend.
I gotta pick off a few SCVs there at least.
Ooh,
oh
the
my
bonus
gosh.
tank.
Yeah, seriously.
It's these little tiny things, as well as the big thing, the advantage that SpeCial is building little by little.
Yeah, when you put all the things together, that's the state of the game right there. You know.
Rest in peace. An excellent podcast. Well, now aLive has cleaned everything up on his side of the map, except for one small push that's up there, but not really dealing any damage. Although here it comes, looking to do a little bit more. There's some siege tanks up here, so I'm not sure how much that'll do, but it's
picking
persisting.
off some units. I mean, not too bad. aLive trying to find his way into the main base once again. Does get pushed back. These sensor towers going up and a well-placed depot. Seems very hard to attack SpeCial right now.
Definitely, especially double sensor tower, siege tanks on high ground. I mean, missile turrets, scouting depots. He is very entrenched. And I think that's a good decision to go with because he has such a solid economic advantage. That new fourth base coming up. And I mean, that's a floated command center to the third for aLive.
Oh, it's tough. He's on 2 CCs, so we can't really call this 4-base play.
Certainly not. And now I think this might be kind of that final big push. aLive is going to try to circumvent, fighting heads up and go for a stim on in. There's a couple of tanks there, sieged, and that's going to do it. SpeCial with an overwhelming advantage takes aLive out to tie up the series.
Yeah, but he's not looking as solid as he normally does. It seems like aLive has gotten under his skin a little bit. He's being a little bit more wasteful than what we're used to. And aLive, he had some comeback moments in that game. So definitely showing some life here in this series against SpeCial.
Well, he's going to need to because his tournament life is on the line. And so is SpeCial's. You can see neither player really happy with the state of the game at this point. So I don't know what aLive really needs to change necessarily. But SpeCial did feel like kind of a step ahead during Game 2.
Yeah, certainly the case. Now we're going to go to Acropolis as our last map here. Excited to see what these guys are going to bring out. Think there's any chance that we're going to see mech here?
I think probably more viable for SpeCial. But I think aLive probably wants to put on too much pressure with something like a double medevac timing attack or any of these kind of drop harassments. And I'm worried that one player, I think especially SpeCial, will fail one of these like early timing skill checks. And aLive is so good at them. Let's see if he's good enough to advance on to the winner's match. Our blue Terran player, he is
Africa S2, aLive.
with those home color advantages. This is about as close as it gets to like a home field stadium. We're in the Africa studio. He's in blue. He's on the team Africa. But this guy,
Ocean Gaming, SpeCial.
he's got the power of Tabasco on his side. Fan gifted him that. I'm just like, okay, well, sick meme, but I think it's from Louisiana. So, you know, I don't know how Cajun SpeCial is.
Yes.
But certainly, I'm sure there are plenty of Doritos out there cheering SpeCial on, too.
I hope so. That's right. Someone did send a whole thing of Tabasco sauce, like little tiny jars that I think got given out to the fans. So
That's kind of hilarious. I mean, I guess when you think of something that could be vaguely Mexican, Tabasco might be on that list.
well, it's hot sauce, right? So
Yeah, but like, if you consider
definitely
like,
American made though.
yeah, Tabasco is not the hot sauce of hot sauces. Like, you gotta get some
Out
of those.
here, it is actually considered the hot sauce because it's like the one that's in every restaurant.
Yeah, I don't know about that one, Artosis.
It is.
I
It's
mean,
in, like, every
out
restaurant.
here for sure.
Yeah,
but
that's what I'm saying.
objectively, coming from eating my fair share of.
It would always be subjective though, right? Because it's like flavor.
Well, unless it's my opinion, and then it's objective.
Objectively, your opinion, I feel like you would wake up a different day and say something else.
I guess I'll just have to find out then, Artosis.
Yeah.
I can't do that now, can I?
No.
Unless this
We'll
is all
test you, though.
simulation.
Many different reads have many different opinions on the hot sauce.
Wow, I gotta go get those guys. This is a much different.
It's like the worst version of the one movie ever. It's about hot sauce.
Although I will say the ending of the one, by far my favorite Jet Li ending ever. So badass. That's how I'm gonna have to deal with all the other Miis that have hot sauce opinions, Artosis.
Kill them.
I have to fight them on a ziggurat in space.
Yes.
I can see it now. Well, anyway, I can see identical builds on both sides.
True.
Literally pixel perfect for both players.
Oh, not anymore.
Until one day, all that changes. Thanks, guys.
SpeCial with an extra barracks.
What a guy.
All right. Let's see what he's up to here. Where the starport is coming up for aLive.
And I think you always knew that aLive was going to go for Starport. He values his first two medevacs specifically, very importantly, but also getting that early Raven out is just such an iconic part of TVT.
Well, I wonder what this build is from SpeCial exactly. I'm not quite sure. Right? Because, like, getting the early second barracks. Oh, he's making Cyclone right now. I mean, is he just going to get a tech lab and get stim out a bit quicker?
Well, see, that's what I was thinking. Sometimes, obviously, you would go. There was those previous builds where you get like the mag field accelerator, but that's not if you're going to go for the extra barracks.
Yeah, yeah.
So I'm just like, well, I'm not sure what the purpose is for that tech lab, but we hope, as we do for all of you watching, that there is a purpose for it out there.
Well, I guess the part that's interesting to me is when you add the extra barracks, it kind of screams that you want to put on some pressure early on. But normally, if you want to attack early on, you like to have a Raven to disable any tanks.
Exactly. It's such an important part of this matchup.
But he doesn't have a starport, so it's clearly not that, right?
I feel like if you have to cut a part of the standard TVT opener, like the Raven might not be it. But yeah, currently there is not one.
Not sure.
And
I don't know what this build is. So
yeah, I'm still looking for that. That tech lab's gonna have to like go on a sojourn, a walkabout, find its purpose in life. Currently, it is chilling. The lock on, not in range.
a good turnaround right there. More Ravens being made from aLive.
I mean, I feel like aLive is killing it. As far as standard TVT goes, like, I do the thing. I build the 1/1/1, I get the Raven, I expand.
Yeah. Well, it's very, very solid. You know, that's kind of the standard. Get those Ravens out and all that. Okay, a couple Cyclones going down.
That's really interesting. I mean,
Oh.
it takes control of the Watchtower, but let's see if this sneaks by. Yes,
Yeah.
it does. Oh, man. I mean, they say an open mine is like a castle with its gates unbarred and unguarded. Well, there's nothing guarding there. I'm going to block my ramp with SCVs. Well, sick, man. You're killing it. And actually, only 4 SCVs die, so
Marines.
that was not as bad as it
Could have been worse.
could have been.
Could have been worse.
He was lining them up there for sure.
Yeah, SpeCial only down about 4 SCVs right now. And yeah, you see, like, for instance, that siege tank sitting back in a decent position if the bunker gets up as well. I don't know that you can really do an attack as SpeCial, but maybe
Well,
this
look at
is
this
more of a
move.
defensive
Oh,
play.
this is so sexy from SpeCial. Pushing out, trying to find where that or the medevac was. Just barely missed it. You could tell he knew that timing.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I think you kind of expect it from aLive. He's one of these guys that drops really
Definitely.
continuously.
Well, I mean, SpeCial's got drops of his own, so that's what we might be seeing loading up here in just a second. Although aLive's is going to hit first, and if it hits while those drops are back in SpeCial's base, obviously they can be used defensively, although that's not the direction they're heading. Here we go. Nothing scouting this out ahead of time. Oh my goodness, a perfect drop here from aLive.
Very quick pull right there. Doesn't lose too many SCVs, just a couple left over in gas. Siege tank goes up in the natural to defend against this. Ooh, double medevac coming out, though. The counterattack from SpeCial.
Yeah, and I think that consequently there might not be that much back at home. A lock-on, there's a Raven there for the disable, a couple of them, and this is a total shutdown.
That was the amount that didn't work was significant.
Wow, you know,
Did it work is no longer a yes/no question.
that is objective.
That is the answer to did it work is no 1,000.
That's almost as much as Iron Man loves us.
Oh my God.
Close it up. Rest in peace. I'm sure he's out there somewhere looking over all of us.
We got a bunch of little tiny Iron Men in this game right now, and
They are very small soldiers, Artosis.
Yeah.
Indeed they are. Well, I think aLive kind of killing it. The more standard build, obviously SpeCial has maybe a slightly higher supply count right now, but nothing is working for him.
okay. I mean, I guess the 2 racks opening just kind of threw me off a little bit, but double barracks like stim timing. The thing is, it had the Cyclones as well, so it wasn't exactly 2-1-1, but it kind of was.
That mysterious tech lab too is still haunting my memories, but maybe we'll figure that out. If he does win and get into that winner's interview, we got some splaining to do.
Well, either way, the game seems to be normalizing a bit now. Live landing his 3rd command center. SpeCial building his on location. Not quite done yet.
Yeah, that is actually a little bit of a difference in timing, and I think that's maybe due in part to how safe aLive felt after defending against that drop, although I guess it was already on the way there.
A lot of times when you open up so technically, you'll see that 3 command center pretty quick, but the army size definitely does go to SpeCial, right? He's the one that added that early extra barracks. He's been really focusing on making units. And he doesn't have the Raven to disable these tanks, but he does have a lot of units, so he's going to get up here and siege this command center.
Yeah, aLive sent that across the map, and I mean, that harass worked really well last time, but I'm not sure he can buy as much time as he needs. He does have 1 Raven back at home, but might need a few more.
Yeah, definitely SpeCial wants to pick that off, if at all possible. Okay, a disable goes down on one of the siege tanks. Oh my God, beautiful armor shredding missile. Oh my God, why do I call it there? But looks like this Raven gonna be picked off as well.
Yeah, the Doritos turning against SpeCial, coating his units in anti-armor goo. And now they're not going to be able to fight, at least until that runs out. Although I will say the one advantage SpeCial does still have is this air army, this Viking account, higher for now. Oh, and now aLive, it felt like kind of piecemeal running in there. I'm not sure that's quite the timing he was looking for.
Oh, lifts those Vikings up immediately, continues to siege the command center now. aLive is going to have to lift that off, but the Vikings are waiting for it as well.
Yeah, it's on the air, in the ground. Like, that's where we're going to fight that. I don't know if he's going to be able to save that in the long run because he's running out of money. He actually just has no minerals.
Yeah, this is not looking very good for aLive right now. Going to try to break this one more time. SCV's being pulled again. The Vikings land to add their damage in.
So the Vikings do go down, and the SCVs will actually get on top of the tank. On top of the tanks, there were Marines there to defend. So everything dies. Now there's nothing to repair. This command center, not even any more minerals. But there's no Vikings to kill it in the air, so.
Yeah, aLive right now, down almost 30 probes, down in army as well. He has nothing out in the map, 3 mining bases for SpeCial. This is only going to get worse for him.
Yeah, SpeCial really got a death grip on this game right now. And for aLive, I feel like he made a couple of kind of questionable decisions. Obviously, you need to break that technically perfectly. Otherwise, you're just hemorrhaging units. And I think he might have lost just a little bit too many, especially that air advantage, which is going to make SpeCial's Liberators so cash.
So cash.
Indeed.
Real money here.
Quite. They are... Those are going to be some fire Liberators, Artosis.
It's going to be lit.
Every kid out there knows we know what they're thinking.
Absolutely. So, aLive, he's going to move out. There's a sensor tower there, but he's going to see if he can't find damage somehow, some way. And I can't really blame him for doing that. It's not like you can sit back and turtle and win this game as aLive.
He's going for a little
quite far
doomy
behind.
drop right here. It's not like a doom drop, but it's like a doomish drop.
Yeah. There's some Doom-like tendencies from this drop, but, like, it's not big enough.
That's true.
So even if you get it off, it will get clean. It's just like, how much damage can you get done with it? So
like
far, not very much.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's out there, so at least it's putting pressure on it, forcing SpeCial to respond to it. The only problem is that he can respond to it and also still be ahead. So I think really the only option for aLive to get back in the game is through those drops, and it's clear that SpeCial knows it.
Yeah, SpeCial doing a pretty good job defending. Ooh, I like that little kind of trap there with the siege tanks on the high ground.
Yeah.
Nice volley there into the Marines.
Look at SpeCial. He's got turret rings. He's got Viking rings. He likes this game, so that's why he put a ring on it.
All right. I thought you were going somewhere else with that. But, okay, Liberator coming in for some harassment. aLive continuing to just kind of rally across the map.
Oof. Well, here is that Doom
God.
Guard. It is unprotected. There are those Vikings there, but they don't stop the unload. Those are siege tanks on the high ground. The Marines coming out as well, and they will deal with everything that SpeCial has to deal with it. One fell swoop for aLive, and if you got to pick one way to win the game, this is it.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good try from aLive here. He doesn't have that much left over. Maybe this is a situation where SpeCial just busts this and aLive's in trouble, but if aLive does enough damage with it, you never know.
I mean, there's a nice spread of tanks there to defend in SpeCial's base, and he has reinforcements coming through. If he crushes this here, it's all but over for aLive. The tanks in the back not surviving long enough. And with aLive's force crushed, this is looking SpeCial's way.
Yeah, you know, he's down 20 workers here. Oof. He's down a base as well as SpeCial takes his fourth. But that was a strong move. If he can make a few more moves like that, the thing is you got to be careful too. If you waste too much army, SpeCial will counterattack and you won't be able to hold on.
Yeah, these counterattacks and over-pushing and over-commitment, it's just been happening all day. So even though right now it looks like SpeCial's in a good spot, like you just don't know. So anything can truly happen. Here's aLive dropping out the tanks. They're a little bit close to that bio. They will get a couple of volleys off here, but SpeCial's tanks just in such a much better position.
All right, gonna go ahead and kill those tanks off. aLive has to find another area to try to run into. His army's so much smaller out here right now. SpeCial's starting to chase a little bit.
Yeah, but once again, you don't want to overcommit to the push. SpeCial not able to make it more than halfway across the map. And I mean, is this just him getting more ahead, or do you think he should be being more aggressive?
Oh, you know, I think that SpeCial attacking right now is good. Like, just the fact that he's putting this pressure on, even if it's slow, it's stopping aLive from really doing any counter pressure because he's just so far behind. Another tank gets picked off. Huge tank advantage for SpeCial at the moment. He's adding those starports as well, getting ready to switch it up a little bit, getting to some Liberators.
Yeah, really a retirement plan here for SpeCial. And I mean, we're essentially all in. Like, there's a third base mining technically, but it's the forward base. It's very vulnerable, and it has an entire Terran army bearing down on it with a 60 supply advantage. SpeCial is not stopping. He's sieging a tank, or not even sieging a tank. He's just got that up there for damage, taking everything out in his path, and there's not too much left in his way before he hits this vulnerable base. That's it, GG. SpeCial takes the 2-1 win to advance on to our final match of the night.
Yeah, it's a tough one for aLive. Once again, falling out so early in the GSL. His year is getting close to over. I feel bad for him, and he showed some signs of life in that series for sure, but he will not be going forward. He will not be having any sort of shot at BlizzCon or anything like that.
Nope, this is one of the last times we're going to get to see aLive this year. And, you know, for a while, this is where